Well, I just went down to my uncle's to get my welder. I'd done some welding for him a little while back. Needed to go get my old trusty welder. This is a Harbor Freight special I've had for over 15 years. I think I bought it for 80 bucks. And I welded a ton of stuff with it, and it still works. Just a little 110 flux core. So, not everything Harbor Freight makes is junk. I mean, you definitely has its limits, and you got to know your limits. But anyways, I wanted to get it so I can start working on the trailer. And I got some metal off his junk pile. Part of an old metal shelf here, which is, this ain't too straight, but it's got some sheet metal to it. And part of an old dryer. So there's some more sheet metal. That'll help me get started on repairing the trailer. I'm thinking I'll probably cut a strip out here on both sides, and then maybe another strip down here to fix all that rust. It's a little worse on the other side, but I can weld that in. So that's kind of the plan with it, so we'll see. But yeah, he just had this metal in his junk pile and he gave it to me, so I got a panel on either side and the lid, so there's some decent sheet metal. Get me started anyway. I don't have enough to do the floor in the front there, but that'll get me started on this outside skin, I'm thinking. So, yep, like I said, do a strip here and down here. This door is good. I'm gonna keep the door. But yeah, that'll get me started. All right, I started working on the trailer. Got one panel tacked in. Got it pretty close. There's a little bit of a gap here, but this is a little bit thinner than this, but I think it'll be all right. It's what I got, so I think it'll work. Next, I'm gonna make this strip down here. And then after that's welded, this side will be pretty much done. I cut it out of this piece here. So, making progress. All right, it's the next morning. I'm working on the trailer a little more. Pretty much got this piece in. I used the edge that had this bend in it, which I think works out good. Pretty sloppy welding, my crappy little welder. Plus this is thin and rusty metal, but I don't really care too much how it's gonna look. I did start grinding here. I'll probably grind most of it and blend it, but I don't care too much. Anyways, I just ran out of weld wire, so I can't do any more welding right this moment, but this is the progress. So this side's pretty much done. The door still functions good. It has a little rain gutter that goes over this. And I will be putting weather stripping on this door. It never had it, or if it did, it's long gone. All right, I got this side done. For some reason, I don't know if it's the new weld wire I bought or what, but it was a lot harder to weld. I mean, it looks like garbage. I burned through a bunch of spots, but I'll clean it up with the grinder. And I pounded out this big dent here, so it's a little deformed, but I don't really care. I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut this out because of this rust. And I still need to do this part. And I pulled off the aluminum shield here. Found a bunch more rust, which not surprised at all. So I'm trying to decide what I want to do about that. As far as fixing that. So I don't know. I'll have to make a decision. I think I'm gonna put the wire wheel on the grinder and wire wheel all that, and then figure out what I want to do. I'm probably gonna have to cut that off and weld it in. Looks like it only really goes to here. So we'll see. Now I'll get the wire wheel on it and then make a decision. It's not too bad around here. There's a spot there. I got on a Facebook group for restoring horse trailers and asked what they thought this might be. And one guy said it's a Hale trailer. He said early to mid 70s. So I looked it up and it does look like it's a Hale manufacturer. But I did see 60s models that looked identical. So this could be as old as 60s. So it's an old one. So another reason why I don't really care about making it real nice. But it is kind of cool having a vintage trailer go along with my vintage truck. So here we go. Well, I decided to cut out, weld in there. But while I was welding, my welder started smoking a lot and smelled real bad. So it's still working, so I'm letting her cool down. But I think my trusty old welder might be done, or at least almost done. So hopefully I might try to finish up this seam here. And unfortunately I don't have this done, so might have to buy another welder. I was gonna fill in this. This is all pretty thin. I do have some fiberglass reinforced like Bondo. So I could just cover that stuff with it because that aluminum sheet goes over this. So if the welder's crapped out, I might just do that. So we'll see. But I've had this welder for at least 15 years. So if it's crapped out, it's been a good run. So the welder still working, even though there was smoke coming out of that, smelled like burnt electronics, but it's still working. It overheats real quick, which it did not used to do that near as fast. So I do think it's on its last leg. But anyways, I went to Harbor Freight yesterday and got a flapper wheel. Ground down these welds. These look terrible. It kept burning through. I tried it on high and low. It actually did better on high setting. I'm sure I'll get some comments on how terrible it looks, and it does. I am a good welder. I used to weld aluminum boat docks. I used to weld aircraft parts. I used to TIG weld. But working with this thin sheet metal and this crappy welder, this is this is what I got, and it looks like hell. Anyways, I don't care that much. Once it's painted, you won't be able to see it as much. I just kind of flattened down everything. I'm not going to blend it all in. Thought about going over this with Bondo, but I don't know. I think I'm just going to leave it. This thing's not going to be no beauty queen. I got that patched over there. This all gets covered with that aluminum rock guard. still contemplating cutting that out and patching it, which I might do. Or I might just do the Bondo, like I said. We'll see. So, unless I patch that out, I'm pretty much done with the rust repair welding. Set the inside. I think I can cut out that dryer and put the panels together, make a piece big enough to cut an arch, and just set it in there, and I'll probably rivet it in or sheet metal screw it in. I'm not going to weld this. I mean, that would be a nightmare. But as you can see, I might go ahead and cut that out in the front and patch that, because you can really see daylight through there. Still have some pinholes to fix over there. If I do the metal panel in here, like I said, I'll just set it in here, and I'll probably get some heavy caulk, do a real thick bead around the edge. Be my plan. And I'd like to have an angle piece come up a little ways here, either rivet or screw into that. Again, I am not going to try to weld any more sheet metal. It's just a nightmare. You can see the 2x6 from the floor in the back. I've contemplated just maybe cut this up right at the level of the 2x6 and bring 2x6 into here. Just have a wood floor in here. I might do that. I won't be using it in heavy rain. Once I seal the roof and everything, it should keep the water out when it's raining, when it's sitting. If I go with treated 2x6, that could work. I've seen lots of other restorations on YouTube, and that's what they did. It was just did wood floor all the way to the front. A lot of people did. So I'm still contemplating that. It'd be a little tricky to cut the curve into the wood, but no big deal. And then the top panel, I'm definitely gonna probably just do wood up there. It's just too much rust and too much thin sheet metal to deal with. But anyways, I pretty much got the front part done. Like I said earlier, I am gonna put like a weather stripping here, because this was never sealed. Nope, that latched. I need to find a latch handle for that. But the door functions. I have to put the latch back on here. So this door functions. I do want to put a seal on that. Again, they both have little rain gutters. I'm not taking these off yet until I source some plexiglass. But I will want to take them off when I paint it, so I need to figure that out. I did get some heavy rust primer, so I'll probably just get rid of this flaky stuff, put the rust primer over the rusty parts before I paint it. Go from there. These rear doors have some rust. This I'm not really that concerned about. They are rusted out on the bottom, pretty much. So I do need to probably put a strip along the bottom. I might just weld over that. Again, I'm tired of cutting out and welding rusty metal. So we'll see. But I'm not real concerned about the doors yet. That one's worse. And then as far as the edge along the bottom, I'm either just gonna run a strip of sheet metal and rivet it in and caulk it like I said, or I might just run a board, do the same. These things are not very watertight, and it's just too far gone, and I don't care that much. Going for function, it'll never be fully watertight. But I do want to get the roof watertight. See, one of these rivets has failed. I'm sure it leaks there. Where the nose cone meets, that seal is gone. So I'll have to seal that. And this vent has been open, so I'm sure water has just been pouring in here. I might cut this out and put a regular like RV style vent in it. And did have a dome light here with a switch in the back. I'm gonna probably put different lights in here, but it would be nice to have a dome light in here. And I'll probably put at least a second one back here, maybe up here. LED lights are cheap on Amazon, so it's coming along. Soon I need to replace that wheel stud that's broke, and I want to pull all the wheels off, paint the wheels, paint the inside the fender wells, pull these bearing caps off and make sure that all the bearings are good and greased. But she's very close to functional as it is. I'm probably gonna try to get all this primering done soon. Let me show you the roof. The roof is in good shape, but that, you can see where that nose cone, that seal is gone. So I'll have to fix that, and then, like I said, probably replace that vent. I like the idea of having a vent. I'll probably, like I said, I got elastomeric paint that out on the roof of the bus, so I'll probably do the roof with it. So I don't know if I'll come all the way down with it or maybe halfway up, tape a line and do it. But I've got the paint, so I might as well do it. So that's the progress. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more, and like, comment, subscribe. Take care. All right, I found some smoke gray Rust-Oleum paint that I had that I completely forgot about, so I got it out today and decided to do the fenders in gray. I just spray painted that white. I figured the nooks and crannies would be hard to get when I roll on, or the Rust-Oleum. So I figure, anyways, at least the nooks and crannies will be done. I can go over it with the Rust-Oleum. So I think I'm gonna do white for the main color. Fenders are gray. I have almost a whole quart of that. I didn't use much at all for the first coat. So I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do. Thought about maybe just following this line, going gray around the front, although the rock guard will be on the front. Not sure. Thought about just maybe painting this whole piece gray, front and back, and maybe along the bottom, although I need to straighten that piece out, and I do want to put a receiver hitch on it, so I'm not ready to paint that yet. So I don't know, we'll see. Just been kind of thinking here. I don't know. I don't know if I want that white or gray. Haven't decided. I also thought about maybe just taking gray all the way up to the bottom of this rib. Bottom of that rib coming all the way around. I don't know if I even got enough to do that. It's hard to decide. I haven't bought any white. I can always buy more gray. It's a Rust-Oleum color, so it's easy. Today I went and got a new wheel stud for that one broken one, and I got some more lug nuts. So, oh, and I also packed all the bearings. So soon I'm gonna be pulling wheels off painting them one by one and fixing that wheel stud and whatnot. I'll be doing that soon. And actually I'll probably take 2 at a time off because I need to paint up under here. Which I don't know what color I'm gonna paint that. I should probably do that and then just paint all this gray. That's what I should probably do. I don't know. I also need to fix that rust repair on them panels. I'm just gonna rivet some metal in there. Anyways, I'm rambling. That's as far as I've gotten now. Oh, my welder. Pardon the mess here. My welder finally quit on me. So I got on Amazon. This guy was on sale. It's a lot smaller, but it's actually 145 watts, I think. Amps. I can't remember. It's actually got more power than the old big one. But yeah, the old one did actually quit on me. We'll see how this little guy does. I can actually do stick and I can get a TIG torch for it too. It was on sale for $69, I think, so we'll see how it does. I still haven't done the floor and the tack storage yet. I went ahead and ordered all the wiring, all the marker lights and tail lights that I want to put on it. So I'll be doing all that soon too. Got the fenders painted. Got a couple of coats on it. I did paint the underside. I just did one coat. I don't really care that much. Got all the wheels wire wheeled, painted. Painted the hubs, painted the lug nuts. Put the new lug nut in. They're a little short. It was all I could get. So it's gonna have to do. They're only $3 a piece, so I might look online, see if I can find longer ones. Anyways, wheels are looking really good. And the fenders, I'm digging it. Well, I spent pretty much all day on it. Got some white Rust-Oleum, got a gallon of it, and I used probably at least 3/4 of that gallon, probably a little more. But I rolled, used a little roller, got 3 coats on. Still have a little bit more to do on this, but I still plan on cutting this out. I'm gonna paint the bottom along there gray. I still have some gray, so I'll be able to touch up what I spilled on here, and she ain't perfect. There's some old Bondo here, but I really don't care about perfection. I did pull these windows out. This is this old nasty plexiglass, so I'm gonna have to replace that. But I think she's gonna look pretty good. That aluminum sheeting, the rock guard, will go back on and cover up that area. In front of the fenders too. But I'm liking it. I may take, depending on how much gray I have left, and I do actually have some green from that Ginu boat that I painted and I sold. So I might take that green and that gray and maybe do gray here and green here. Paint a design, a stripe or something. I don't know. I got to figure out how much of that paint I have. Might do that. We'll see. Just to break it up a little bit. I could just paint these ribs, tape it off and paint those. I don't know. We'll see. Just so it's not just so plain white, although the rock guard and everything will make that look a little different. So we'll see. We'd like to add a little color to it. That'd be nice. Thought about getting a gold to kind of match the truck, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm trying to keep the price down. So, Banjo, move. Watch out, buddy. You're going to get white, silly boy. But, yeah, I just used Rust-Oleum enamel gloss white. And I wire wheeled it all. I have not done the elastomeric on the roof. I am going to do that. I do have some work to do. You can see daylight right there. So I'll have some sealing up to do on the roof before I do that, but she's starting to look pretty good. She's going to be very usable soon. I did go to the store the other day and I pulled it down there just to make sure the hubs didn't get hot or anything like that after I packed them, and of course they didn't, so she pulled just fine. She's going to be usable very soon. All right. This is where she sits now. I just finished putting the second coat on the roof. I used the elastomeric paint that I had left over. The vent, I decided to just keep that vent, and I took it off and cleaned it up, resealed it. I sealed all the gaps, did some caulking. So the roof is done. I got all the LED markers on it, which actually I can turn those on so you can see, even though it's daylight. So I got amber LED here, down here. Got some reflective tape. Red marker there, red marker there. Taillights. I cut a piece of metal I had, made that kind of bracket deal for the markers, and these floodlights will be mounted to a switch. Got an LED license plate light. So I'll try to keep this short. I know this video is getting very long. I had some leftover green from the boat I was painting before that I got rid of. So I decided to do a green stripe. And that's the gray that I used on the fenders. I chose to do this curve here to kind of accent it. I'm gonna put gray on the door here. So this is how she sits now. I'm gonna go ahead and post this in this video as an update. I still got to put the rock guards on and clean up all that aluminum. I did put these rain gutters on, and there's a trim piece that goes across the top there on that seam, and I still need to do all the flooring and the inside stuff. So but the exterior is pretty much done, and it's how she's looking, and I'm very, very pleased. I did not repair the rust on the bottom of the doors yet, which I will probably do later. I just kind of got burned out on fixing all that stinking rust. But boy, she looks like a totally different trailer. I'm kicking around the idea of selling it, just because I know I can make a good profit, although I would like to have the trailer. So we'll see. I'll decide that later. But this is the progress. She's probably 80% done, I would say. 85. Just got to fix the inside and the flooring and stuff like that. So all right, well, stay tuned for more updates on it, and give me a like and a subscribe if you feel like it. All right, thanks. Take care.